Hi, everyone. Welcome to Failing Up, a limited series from the shallow end about our collecting mistakes and how they help us better understand ourselves and this hobby. It's about those unpleasant experiences that ultimately make us better collectors. I'm Dave Schwartz, and I wanted to do this series to help us all feel a little less alone. We've all made mistakes. No one is perfect. And maybe, just maybe, we can learn from each other. Today we're talking with John, co-host of the Global Card Collectors podcast and Istanbul Cards on Instagram. John is a basketball and soccer collector. He's thoughtful, he's deliberate, he's disciplined, yet anyone, even collectors who stay on their path, are not immune from a painful lesson. Not all one-of-ones are created equal. Welcome into the show now. Good friend. Really glad to have him back at Istanbul Cards on Instagram. John, welcome back. And John, tell us about a mistake or a failure or a slip up in the past that we're going to be talking about today.
Of course, there are many. So it was actually difficult to come to one that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to talk about, I bought this card in January 2023. So right after the World Cup. This is the 2022 National Treasures, World Cup or Road to the World Cup, Road to Qatar. It's called base 1 of Giovanni Reyna, and he is the son of Claudio Reyna, who I really loved the 2002 World Cup team. I'll say generally I love the. I always root for the U.S. in international competitions, but especially in soccer because, we're underdogs. We're not elite. And so it's fun to kind of see us overperform. And that 2002 team overperformed like no other. Got to the quarterfinals and lost the heartbreaker to Germany 1-0. We really were in the match the whole time. Loved his father. He had some Argentinian in him, UVA guy. Grew up in New Jersey. My father's from New Jersey. I just he was the midfielder. He actually made the all tournament team. He's the only American to ever do that. So I don't know. I just loved his father. When I got back into collecting, he was like, as people were talking about PCing certain players, it was, that they had a particular attachment to. That was just like obvious one. And so I've done that. And I said to you offline, collecting the father is actually really easy. I mean, there's just not much. He has some stickers from some club teams and a few USA stickers from like 98, and then a card in 02, card in 06. So I collected the whole 2006 team, which kind of best captures the 2002 team in PSA 10, just to make it kind of fun. And then that kind of launched me on doing these sets of every year of the USMNT national team, like for the World Cup. I also really enjoyed 2014. Maybe we'll remember that. We lost to Ghana, but it was a really fun team. No, that was 2010. Sorry, I'm mixing it up. 2014 was when we lost to, what was it? Was it Belgium, I guess? But we beat Portugal. We made it through the round, and I was in Istanbul, so I have good memories of that. Really like that team, but really the 2002 team is the one. So sorry.
So yeah. Real quick, I'm looking at this, and I think sort of in the hobby, there's this thought of one of one, right? It's the ultimate type of goal, and this is a beautiful card of Giovanni Reyna, or if I'm pronouncing that right, platinum one of one. What could possibly be wrong with this card? It's a one of one.
Well, that was the thinking. And, I don't know if you recall kind of in 21, he was the hot thing. His, PSA 10 prisms were going for maybe $200-$300 at least, maybe even more. I don't remember. And he has just had a horrible luck of like string of injuries. The 2022 World Cup didn't go very well. There was this whole controversy where actually his parents, his mother is I can't recall exactly off the top of my head, some kind of athlete. They pressured the USMNT coach Burkhalter, who they knew him very well as a family, and there were kind of allegations of abuse in his marriage, and so they threatened to out that if he didn't make the team. There was just this tension, so it got really ugly. So yeah, his market was so beat down by the time I bought this, and that was kind of the reasoning, which is why I find this a mistake. To be honest, the card ladder value it's actually up on this card. I mean, his index is barely up since, but it's been a disastrous, couple years, and I'm just sitting on this thing, and I don't want it. I bought it because I thought it was very low. I thought his market was at the low. I guess I was right about that, but it can always go down further, considering what I paid for it, and it doesn't fit, number one, set collecting of teams that I really loved. As I said, 2002 or 2014. I was kind of forcing, okay, let's do every year. So I did 2010. I did, and then I tried to do 2022. And yeah, I was caught up in the hype of getting a 1-of-1 how can you go wrong, right? And maybe he'll make it for the 2026 World Cup, come back. He truly is kind of our most talented young player. So, I thought I should. I love the father. Let's do this. And I've just been sitting on this, and it's been 2 years, and I'm just hoping for a chance to sell it. It's sitting on Fanatics, and I haven't listed it to just try to keep it scarce and not on the market. But it's tied up my capital, allowed me not to buy cards that I would rather be getting. And actually, I think kind of maybe the biggest lesson is I don't know if it was this particular card, but I've done this a few times where I don't want to buy cards anymore that are investments, and being kind of forced to sit on them. And, unless the true nostalgia is there, and maybe he just starts flying and I hold on to this and I start loving it. But it's been a brutal 2 years to sit on this. And I think, it just causes stress, regret. And, I wish I hadn't bought it. I got excited. The set had just been released. It was available on eBay. When you get a chance to get a 1-of-1, those are the main reasons I feel regret.
Is there a chance with the upcoming World Cup, the one that's going to be in the States next year, if he's healthy, will he be on the team? Will that be your chance to finally get out from under it?
Possibly. It's I'm new to soccer, and the kind of trajectory of these players is different. I mean, they can really he's 22 right now. He has the runway still to be something special. He needs a transfer from his club, Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund. He's been there 5 years, and that was the thing. He's one of the youngest Americans to go over to a big European team system early on. But kind of once he's got to make a leap and do well at some club there, either this summer, which is possible. There's talk of him going to an Italian club. But yeah, you are keying in on this whole hobby narrative that the 2026 World Cup is going to be this big selling experience, right? And that narrative has been around for 5-6 years. Even, the soccer card people have been talking about this. And, what we actually saw in 2022 was that everyone dumped their cards, kind of, especially Messi's, and so there was so much supply that came onto the market after he won that prices and the market started to dip. So really probably want to get rid of this before 2026, kind of based on that past. There's a chance.
Hopefully. So what I'm hearing is
he's not the Bronny James of soccer, right? He's better. If he's healthy and if things go well, he could be quite talented. But he is the son of somebody who you admire from a team that you don't collect, but you decided to move into someplace different, into a one of one, largely because a one of one happened to be available.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I imagine, a lot more painful or expensive lessons that you could learn, but that's still probably not fun having this be there as a reminder. So what have you taken away from this experience that you could apply toward the rest of your soccer or basketball collecting? What have you learned from this?
Yeah, I think to really only buy a card of a player that you really collect and really already love. I mean, prospecting is this is kind of a prospecting thing, and that's fun, but it doesn't feel good if it doesn't go well. And I think the pain of that is almost worse than even when I think I don't know. At least I do. I remember the losses much more than the wins.
Same.
And, it's like buying wax almost. I mean, you feel bad about what you do poorly. So if you're gonna, for me, I want to buy something that I feel good about, that I actually intend to hold long term, unless I have a really really sharp exit strategy to flip something. And I will probably do that again. I'm probably going to buy some Nikola Jovic. I kind of believe in him this season. Okay. But I usually keep that very small, just kind of for fun. So buying a big card along these lines, I won't do that again. And I mean, this isn't a huge card, but it's meaningful. And yeah.
I just think you touch on something just so important. Probably a couple months ago now, I was trying to pick something up. And so I had 2 or 3 Barry Bonds cards in my collection. And I've been telling myself for years that I needed to have some Bonds in my collection because he was the best player I ever saw in person. And he was incredible. But I felt like that was kind of a forced narrative. And so I had a few cards and I got rid of 2 of those to get the card that I actually wanted. And I didn't mention this when we were talking off the air, but earlier tonight I sold the 3rd one just because I wanted a few extra funds for the National. And that card was just sort of sitting there. It didn't make any sense. And the only reason that I was holding on to it is because I thought that I should want to, if on the off chance he finally makes the Hall of Fame, I'm going to want to have a card like that because I'll be upset if I don't. And it's almost like 7 steps of FOMO ahead that were happening, where I was trying to play almost like FOMO chess in a way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And finally thought, move the card. You don't want it. And I think that even cards that, like you mentioned, Nikola Jovic, right? Where even it's not who you buy, it's which cards of the person that you buy. Because, okay, so maybe he's not going to be, Jokic or Steph or LeBron. But if you buy the cards that would be the right cards of him, and he's even pretty good, they will go up, which is what you want. Plus, if he's not good, or if he just sort of becomes a role player, you at least have a card that you didn't pay too much of a player who you enjoy anyway, so no big deal, right? Great.
Yeah, 100% agree with all that. The forcing thing it really resonated with what you said, and I think that's I find myself when now we're a few years into it, we have a collection that is we're probably pretty happy with by and large.
Yeah.
But you just kind of want to, what's next? And they're like Oscar Robertson rookie 1961. I'm a Kings fan. I feel like I should have one, but do I? I mean, he was the Royals. I didn't watch him. I don't have any real connection. It's that forcing, I think, that can get you in trouble. Like I felt like I should have a Giovanni Reina card because I like his father so much. Yeah.
It's funny what we hear others say, and then along our own path, we realize that that's not how we collect. Like we hear some people like collect to commemorate certain things, right? And I'm like, that's not really me. It's like as long as I'm remembering it in my brain, that's kind of enough. And I think I want cards for other reasons. And we've been showing the card as we talk for those who are watching, but for those who are listening, we have this young Reyna, baby Reyna, this one of one 2022 National Treasures. And it's a great looking card. He's wearing the all white kit with this red background, and he's got the ball, has one of one right between his feet, which is a really good place for that to be. It's a beautiful card, but it's just not for you, right? It's just not. It might be right for someone, but it's not right for you. And I do hope that you have the opportunity to move it and pick up some other stuff that you do want. So as we begin to wind down, let's say if you were looking over somebody's shoulder and they were about to buy a card that was a one of one because it was a one of one, what question or questions might you ask them, or might you have them ask themselves before they hit buy?
I mean, it's obviously the cliche kind of answer is that you shouldn't, how do you intend to hold this for a long time? And obviously that changes, but how much do you really, really want this card? One of ones too are tough because the comps just aren't there. So it is a different kind of level of what, how much do you want to pay? You don't really know. It kind of needs to be just worth it to you. Is that the value of what you're going to put at play? Is that worth, in my case, I was putting it at play as an investment. But if it's to hold, then you really just got to be very, very comfortable with what price you're paying. Of course, everything with cards is about what price you get in on a card at. To make you feel better, at least the money angle. But yeah, I mean, it's such a personal decision. I mean, a few guys can have tons of one-on-ones, but most of us, don't have too many. So be very, 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 there are more one-of-ones popping up. I mean, I think that's the other problem with this issue, with this card, is this is a 2022 card. And it's, how many one-of-ones? I mean, even in this National Treasure set, he probably has 10, 15 one-of-ones or something, right? So I have the base. I mean, it's not even, and though I said the card ladder value is up on it, a patch card of his in that same set sold for less already since I bought mine. So I'm definitely down on the card at this point, to be clear. And, maybe I would have found another one-of-one that I liked more. So I think just really, really hit the brakes on the one-of-ones. Like, don't get too excited about them would be my, how much you really need this right now, to try to answer your question, what I would ask the guy.
Okay. John, thank you. Such really good advice. Not all one-of-ones are created equal, but in following your collecting path, seeing where your cards are now, and on your podcast, Global. Well, hey, actually, why don't you tell everybody about your podcast a little bit?
Sure.
Because you have some really amazing cards of your own that you share on those. So clearly you have recovered from this one bad decision, and now soon that will be off in the distance as well. But tell everybody where they can find you, tell them about the podcast and everything else.
Thanks. Will and I at Cart Adami is his handle on IG, but we're global card collectors. We've kept our streak alive of doing an episode every week. I don't know, that might not keep this summer. I feel we might miss a couple weeks. Just August coming up here, but we're both based in Istanbul. He's a Kiwi. I'm an American. I'm sure you can tell. But we just have on collectors usually, or it's the two of us talking about all kinds of sports. We're open to kind of everything. Nothing too serious, not too market driven. Please check us out if you have a chance.
Yeah, everyone do check it out. It's one of my favorite global card collectors, John Istanbul Cards. Thanks for joining us and thanks for telling your story.
Thanks so much, Dave, for having me. Always fun.